Okay, as of the last video, we set up the clusters. LXC, LS, and there you have it. So we've got a set of east machines and a set of west machines. Now, the whole purpose is to use Podman or Docker Compose to get to provision these machines. That takes a registry. So another command that I have in the demo is demo registry create. Now I'm going to use Podman for the purpose of this demo, and I'm using Podman because I can use a registry without TLS, so I can set everything up locally and not have to generate a bunch of certificates and this kind of thing. So let me create a registry with the Concerto plugin or extension. Oh, must specify target. No, actually, that needs to change. And it's pulling the registry. I will pause as it does it. Okay, so we have a registry, and now if I say podman ls ps, there it is. So we're running the Docker registry in Podman. The registry information is set up. Let me do a tree here. For the live target, you can have files specified declaratively with EDN, programmatically with CLJ, and also programmatically with no extension. And if you have one of these files in your target section which has no extension, then what you'll find is that Concerto will run the file as a script, a hashbang script. So what I'd like to do is have a quick look at the access here, because it's the access part. You need to have an SSH key, for example, public and private key, to set up the or to access the containers. That's one thing. The second thing is in access is the registry details. So I want to have a quick look at that by catting targets live access. And as you can see, this is a hashbang script. And I used a hashbang script in this instance because if I was moving from machine to machine in the development here. And of course, when I set up an LXC network, it might have different subnet, might create a different subnet depending what machine I'm on. So this script returns, as you can see, Eden. It doesn't return it, prints it to std out. The SSH access, well, this is all good because this is all declarative. However, the registry IP might change depending on which machine I happen to be on. So that's the bash, which will pick out the actual registry IP for the subnet, and that's why in this instance I used an access script rather than access.edn and so on and so forth. Also note that there's no TLS verify for the registry, and that the user and the secret are the same thing, but it does have a user and a secret. But that's all stored in here, and of course if I were to, well, if I were to run it, well, you'll see what it is. So there it is when it's been run. So it's the subnet for the registry is 10.236.76.1. Okay, and that's the valid Eden that is returned. Okay, the last thing I'd like to look at here is just simply in terms of access. Before I start doing any deploys or so on and so forth, and because we've looked at the access file, what I want to do is now add the key that comes with the extension into my keychain. And this, of course, corresponds. This is the private key which corresponds to the public key in the cloud init file, right? So when that is in my keychain, I'm now able to visit any of the machines that are running. In fact, I should show you that just while I'm talking about it, because you should now be able to see if I do concerto. One of the concerto commands here is visit a machine by IP specified by host. So I know I've got East API 1, so let me do /concerto visit East API 1, for example. Target live, yeah, you definitely need that. Got to know which set of machines. There you have it. I'm in East API 1, it's running nicely. So I know I have access to the machines. Let's try WestDB. Bada boom. There we go. Nice. And one thing about this is, although you specify the machine you want to visit by its host name, it actually, the SSH command generated visits by IP. So in my experience, when we had clusters go down or have to tweak a cluster, then we'd redirect all the traffic to another cluster. If you then SSH into that one of the old cluster names and you've altered your DNS, you're in a world of hurt. So this makes sure that you always go into the correct IP that you actually think you're meant to be editing. Okay, we'll leave that there and we'll go on to an actual deploy.